All right, welcome everybody to a product spotlight. It is Wednesday. Steel Volumetric Modular delivering global high-rise solution. QCOMM manufactures steel frame modular solutions in accordance with local building codes and has delivered buildings worldwide, even in seismic and hurricane areas. QCOMM Group recently completed a merger with Volumetric Building Companies, one of the United States' largest multifamily volumetric modular and component businesses. A trademark project, the Citizen M Bowery is a modular hotel completed in 2016, and it's situated in downtown New York on the Bowery. However, it was manufactured in Poland and shipped overseas, followed by Citizen M, Tower of London, and many other premium modular building systems and interiors for projects across different asset classes: hospitality, residential, student housing, and other. What does the future of construction look like at QCOMM, a division of the Volumetric Building Companies? They are headquartered in Philadelphia, but they are also in Poland. QCOMM is leading international turnkey steel modular building manufacturer with high-rise and custom buildings around the world. The company has a unique mix of modular and furniture production expertise with well-established business operations and a vertically integrated production system. QCOMM has 3 manufacturing facilities in Poland for steel frame modules, furniture, and modular fit-out. The company's clients include Citizen M, Marriott, Hilton, IHG, Kimpton, and Accor, along with other hospitality and multifamily units. And today we are going to have Wojciech Poludniewski on today to discuss with us all the wonderful things that QCOMM is doing, and we're going to discuss the merger with Volumetric Building Companies. We're going to have all of that, but first, we can't do any of that without our sponsors. So a big shout out and thank you to Forward Solutions Group for allowing us to deliver all these examples of construction innovation. Forward Solutions Group is successfully driving companies to succeed where others have failed. Learn more about Forward's recent acquisition of Modular, an ERP solution for offsite manufacturing. For more information, please reach out to Ben Hershey, Ben at forwardsolutionsgroup.com. And also a big thank you to Howick LTD, and I hope you're listening today. This is all about steel modular manufacturing. Howick has a long history of innovation in cold form steel manufacturing and produces innovative precision roll forming technology for customers throughout the United States and the world. Check out their machine buyer's guide for the off-site modular construction or fast build construction with light steel for framing industry. Go to their website, www.howickltd.com. All right, so without further ado, let's bring in Wojciech Poludniewski, and I hope I got it right, to the show. Wojciech, how you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for the invitation, and you pronounced it just right. Thank you very much.
I love it.
Super
I've been
happy
working
to be
on it
here.
for like I've been working on it for like 10 minutes. I was so nervous. I'm just kidding.
Spot on. Thank you.
You know, there's so much innovation coming out of Poland. Your company and several others. We had the opportunity of, a couple of you meeting a couple weeks ago in San Francisco when we were out there. So I'm really excited to talk about this. But before we get into that, we want to first know everything about you from the moment you were born to this very moment in time. Do not leave out any of the good stuff from the hospital, or we will call your mother. And then we're going to bring her on the show, and she's going to tell us everything about you. And then once you do that, we're going to get in and talk a little bit about the QCOMM Group. Go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I'm pretty sure my mother is watching me. Hello, Mom. I'm Wojciech, born in Poland and based in Poland, but traveling extensively. I have a degree in IT and economy and an MBA from Copenhagen Business School. I have more than 25 years experience in manufacturing and technology, and technology was always very close to my heart. So both IT, but also other sorts of technologies, Industry 4.0, etc., etc. And I joined QCOMM 3 years ago as a head of technology, and recently stepped up into a role of chief operating officer. Privately married, 3 kids, and and my big hobby is driving and fast cars.
Driving and fast cars. I love modular construction and driving fast cars. Speed is the key to all of that. What do you?
It is.
What's your favorite car? Let us know.
Well, I'm into the. I don't think that's very unique. I'm into the Porsche.
Oh, you are in the Porsche? Yeah.
I think 911 is the right car.
Well, good for you. Let's see if we get any banner on that for you car folks out there. All right. So there's some big news with this recent merger with Volumetric Building Companies, which makes you a global company now. Volumetric Building Companies, Polcon Group, is now a global company. Tell us a little bit about the history of Polcon Group, where the background is, and then let's get into where you're going with this merger.
Oh yeah, I mean, Polcom was established in 1989 as a workshop for the furniture, and for the next few years, Polcom was actually growing as a furniture manufacturer, and this is still an important part of our business. But then we entered the modular buildings, and now we are a premium steel modular building and furniture manufacturer for hospitality industry. This is the sector where we started to operate, and we are one of the key players here. We built a number of multi-story hotels in iconic locations: New York, Seattle, Washington, D.C., but also in Europe, London, Amsterdam. And also, as I said, when it comes to the furniture, we furnished hundreds of thousands of hotel rooms with our custom-made quality furniture. And yeah, I mean, we recently merged with a volumetric building companies, forming a global leader in the modular technology. And this is so exciting because that gives tremendous possibilities for our joint company.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, the modular, well, I guess the furniture industry in Poland, what makes somebody go from, hey, I'm building furniture to, well, let's build modular buildings? How did that actually come about?
Well, that's actually an interesting story. I mean, you mentioned that one of our customers is COOMM, and actually we started the journey with COOMM. So the first hotel we manufactured and built was for the COOMM brand, and then we basically entered that market, and we saw the huge potential in the modular industry. And also, I mean, having the furniture, that was a good fit because we can not only produce the shell and core, but also we can provide our premium furniture.
Yeah, and it's funny. It's so Citizen M saw value in what you were doing for them, and then you guys said, well, we can also build your buildings, and so thus it began Volumetric Building for you. So that is a neat story. That's pretty cool.
It is. So I mean, we are happy that our customers are growing, and of course that creates a future business opportunities for us as well.
Sure. All right. So now you're a global company with this merger with Volumetric Building Companies, the Polcon Group. Your manufacturing facilities are in Poland. You have been building, and we'll spotlight some things on your website. But you build here in New York and other parts of the country. You have projects going on. What does this merger mean for Polcom and vice versa for VVC as well? What's the value that you see out of it?
Well, I mean, the combined company will have more than 500 employees and a massive production facilities on two continents. I mean, with the recent acquisition of the plant in Tracy and the merger with Poland, I mean, we have a tremendous manufacturing capacity. So this is super exciting, and I mean, we have a solid pipeline of the business. And as a new member as a new division of the volumetric building companies, we are planning an expansion. So this is from our perspective super exciting. Of course, I mean the merger gives us the possibility to enter into markets where VBC is strong, the multifamily. So of course, I mean we are planning on entering into that market both in US but also in Europe. And we are also planning the further expansion on the hospitality. And what is unique and what is super important in that merger is that we bring the technology that allows to build a multi-story buildings. I mean, up to the 35 stories. So this is a super complementary technology combined with the one coming from the BBC.
So 35 stories is what it's approved for, or that's just what you have engineered so far?
Well, I mean, this is something that we engineer. I mean, we didn't build such a tall building. The biggest is the one you mentioned in the Bowery, New York. But I mean, we are confident the technology and basically all the design and the calculation has been made up to the 35. I mean, maybe we can go even further, but I mean, we basically say 35. This is what we can do, and we are confident we can manufacture, we can ship, we can install, we can complete.
Let's take a look at it, right? So we have let me go to the site here. So this is portfolio. Let's click on some of these so people can really see the extent of where modular is headed. And and it's been in the hospitality business for quite some time. So here's the Citizen Bowery here. I mean, this is a big building, right? And this all came over on container ships, yes?
It is. I mean, the all the modular floors has been manufactured in Poland and then shipped overseas and then installed in a quite a short time. Which again, I mean, this is a huge advantage of the technology when we build in city centers. I mean, a construction site, the smaller the better, and of course, I mean, the more efficient from the financial standpoint for the investor. So yeah, I mean, this is the interior of what you can see on the screen. This is the interior of the Citizen M hotels. I mean, they look very similar in all these hotels. Again, 100% manufactured by us. So all the interiors you can see, this has been manufactured by us and installed in the fit-out factory.
So I think super important here when we start talking about commercial, which is different than a wood-based. And I'm looking here when I see the pick of the module. One of the values is you can pick from the top. You don't have to run straps through the beams on the bottom or the band joist, whatever we want to call it. And that allows you to actually move these and set these much easier than traditional wood structure with more accuracy. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Yeah.
Great, and of course, that is also what helps when we are not only during the installation, but also during when we load the vessel. So it's not only for the installation, but also for the transportation that makes it easier.
Right. Yeah, and you modular folks out there, if you're listening in, you know what I'm talking about with the wood structures. Kind of have to cantilever it a little bit to get that corner tucked in. Not with steel. It's a different game. So, all right. So, and then looking at this, so you do a lot of work in London. Here's a pod hotel in Brooklyn. This is interesting.
Yep.
Pod hotel. So what is a pod hotel?
It's a hotel where we focused, or the focus was on the sustainability. You can see a lot of green elements there. There's also some garden on the roof. So again, I think interesting and in a very nice location. So. I encourage you guys. I mean, whenever you're in New York, I mean, try either the Citizen M or the Pod Hotel. It is really worth visiting.
Yeah, for sure. Do you get to stay at all Citizen M's around the world for free since you built them?
Unfortunately, not. But I can tell you, Dave. I mean, it's actually these hotels are super popular, and of course, I mean, we use them as a showcase for our potential customers.
Right.
And but of course, I mean, the thing that we build them, I mean, that help us to squeeze in our guests because they are often fully booked. And when in Europe, I mean, we always tend to invite our customers to London to the Tower Hill Hotel.
Right.
It is very difficult to get a room there, and the view from there and the location is spectacular. So I'm not saying this that makes a sell more easier, but I mean, of course, it helps.
Sure. Well, here's a benefit. So I'm just looking at it now, right? This is one of your furniture, your furniture factory, but you literally are offering a turnkey package to the hospitality space, like everything, furniture. Correct. Through the build out.
Correct, and since we are in the hospitality industry, I mean, we are producing based on the hotel brands. So in our portfolio, we have ready solutions for the major hotel brands, and And yes, as you said, I mean, this is a turnkey. I mean, the only thing that is not mounted in the room when we ship it, it's usually the TV set, because we had some damages during the transportation with the TV sets hanging on the wall, but everything else is there.
Sure. So let's talk about, hospitality took a big hit during COVID. Big hit, right? I mean, or maybe it didn't. Maybe you'll tell me something otherwise. So when I look at this merger with volumetric building companies, this is going to give on a global basis to be able to bring their design skills, their best practices from the residential, multifamily space to what you're doing there. I'm kind of seeing it go the other way as well. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. That's why it's so exciting. I mean, we have a lot of complementary technologies on both sides, and yeah, I mean, the VBC is very strong in the design and also in the multifamily sector. So of course, I mean, we can benefit from that and help here with the multi-story multifamily buildings. At the same time, of course, I mean, we can enter with a multifamily in Europe. We can make our presence in the hospitality even stronger in US with such a great presence, being part of the American company. So yeah, I mean, super good, and that's why we see that merge as a perfect fit, and with a tremendous opportunities for growth for our global combined company.
Yeah, and speaking of growth, we're gonna get to that after we go to a couple comments here. But what is the future looking like right now? What is the hospitality space looking like? What is the opportunity for the multifamily space in Europe? Poland, Europe, and elsewhere, and vice versa. So when we come back from a couple comments, we're gonna get to that, and I really want to understand how you guys are seeing the market and where it's heading. And I'm sure a lot of the people listening today would want to know that as well. All right, Joel Hutchins, congrats on the merger with VBC. So I don't know if you know Joel Hutchins, but good to see you, Joel. It's been a while. I hope you're well. Hey, we're in South Carolina. If you're in North Carolina, that's not too far apart. We should connect. Cooper Lane joining us. Excuse me. Good day, Wojciech and Dave. Awesome to see this, and very excited to see where it goes from here. Brave Control Solutions, Inc. is here to help. All right, so I don't know if you're familiar with Brave Solutions, but Brave Solutions is a robotic company. And
yes, I am. Yes, I am. And I know I owe Cooper a phone call. I'll do that, buddy.
Cool, there you go. Hey, this is what it's all about. It's connecting people, right? And it's putting people on the spot sometimes. What the heck? All right, David Hahn from Las Vegas, from YouTube. Good to see you, David. Todd Meckley from Charlotte, North Carolina. Todd, great to see you. Thanks for joining us today. Tom Reddy says, do you have a specific customer base, or is any prospect fair game for your process? If any prospect is fair game, I don't know if there's a follow-up to that, but that's where it ended. What's your thoughts on that? I'll leave it up for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as I mentioned, I mean, we have a solid pipeline of the business upcoming. We as a Polcom, we are busy finishing two major projects, one in Washington DC, another one in London. And referring to what you started your question about the potential for the multifamily and the hospitality industry. Obviously, the hospitality industry was hit with the COVID. But we can clearly see that the market is bouncing back, and there is a lot of projects that have been on the freeze due to the COVID situation for the hospitality. They are actually right now starting up. So we're very positive about that. Mm-hmm. But we are even more positive when it comes to the multifamily. I mean, I assume there is a huge demand for the multifamily in the US, but I can tell you for sure that there's a huge demand for the multifamily in Europe. I mean, just to give you one figure, the UK government, and for us the UK is a super important market, is estimating that there is a demand for the 300,000 homes and flats in the UK just right now. So there is a big demand for the multifamily, and that's why we are so positive about the merger and having access to these capabilities.
Yeah, 300,000. I see, and I'll get to Greg Ugaldi's joining us. He's the immediate past chairman of the National Association of Home Builders. Greg, what's the current stat on the housing needs here in the United States? I know we're probably prepared to talk about that at the International Builder Show in Orlando next week. But do you have any current stats on what the need is? Because, I mean, globally, if you start adding this up, it's a lot of work and a lot of homes that need to be built. So Greg says, Dave, is Wojciech's goal to build production facilities around the world, or is shipping globally the plan? Great job, guys.
Okay, thank you. It's a very good question, and as I said, I mean, right now we have a production fantastic production facilities in US, and we have a good footprint in Europe. But I can tell you, we're not gonna stop there. We have a really great ambition, and when I'm saying we're global, I mean we're global, and we'll be even more global.
Yeah.
So we are going to expand.
I love it. I love it. I you know what? It's not even a question. Like I wouldn't even question it. I know Volumetric Building Company. I know Von Buckley. And I'm seeing the bigger picture already. So it's not a doubt of where or how it's not a doubt that you're going to expand, but I would be curious where. Are you able to talk about where?
Well, I mean, we speaking about the Europe, I mean, we are very strong in the UK, but and we have some presence in Netherlands, and we are starting a couple of projects in more. But I mean, Europe is fragmented. The market is big. I mean, we are specifically thinking about the Germany, France, so our closer neighbors, and the reason for that is also because that's reasonably close to our factories. So of course, I mean, this makes the transportation cheaper compared to shipping that to the further locations. But we are also looking at the beyond Europe. So Middle East is a very interesting region. So we are also looking for the opportunities down there, and of course, I mean, we will continue in US as a division of VBC.
Sure. And I'm just looking at some of your other stuff. I'm going to pull it up here in a minute. But you're right. The Middle East, we get into Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Abu Dhabi, the UAE. They're using a lot of volumetric now, or they're looking at a system approach for their build out for what they're doing.
Well, true, and this is also a trend in Europe because that has to do with the sustainability in the first place, and also, I mean, we are mainly doing our constructions in the city centers, and there's a huge benefit of the modular or the offshore offsite construction versus the traditional one if you do it in a city centers. I mean, the whole chaos related to the construction site is significantly smaller with the modular technology. So we can see that trend clearly in Europe, and I think that the other continents will follow. I mean, you can see that in the US, and we definitely see that in the Middle East. So
Great.
Good times for all of us guys, and we see it very positive, and we are super excited about these possibilities.
I'm so happy you said that. It's just not me saying that it's finally here. Offsite is moving forward, volumetric, and not just volumetric, panelization, mass timber. It really has found its foothold, and it sounds like, listening to yourself and other people, that it truly is a global approach that's starting to happen, and that's exciting. All right. Here we got John Allen. Another big advantage of non-combustible modular is lower insurance costs over the years. He's absolutely right. 100%.
True. 100%.
And a lot of people have a hard time quantifying the entire package of volumetric and modular, especially tried and true stick builders, right? You have to look at the longevity, the life cycle, the legal issues that you don't have, that you get years later, a lot of time with stick built homes. With unskilled labor, and you got to look at the insurance turn on this, and the less insurance you need because it's less time on site. I can go on. That's a whole nother show, but I appreciate you pointing that out, John. Thank you. All right, Damien, for sure. Hey, Damien. Okay, Damien's been tuning in here last couple of days. Well done, Wojciech. And to your wider team, of course, I'm looking forward to seeing some of your precision engineered steel structures topping out across the U.S. in due course. And Damien, why don't you put in the comments there who you're with as well, because Damien is in the modular space in Europe. So we, put it out there, Damien. Let everybody know who you are so people can connect with you. Oh, we got the Buzz Holitzer in the house. What's happening, Buzz, my friend? I will see you at IBS, I hope. We've never met, but I'm looking forward to it. Todd Neckley from YouTube is asking, what is the procurement and delivery times from the time design is locked in? Are you approved for seismic locations? Do you have stateside designers that local designers can work with? And I already know the seismic location one and the hurricane location one, but go ahead.
Correct. I mean, thank you for that question. This is great. Yes, we are approved for the seismic locations. We can build there. I mean, we know how to do it. We have the technology that is approved there. And when it comes to design, I mean, again, we have a design studio as part of the VBC. So now it's also part of us. So we can definitely design interesting buildings. And referring to the other part of the question about the timelines, it is challenging times when it comes to the lead times, and of course, I mean, the global economy is struggling here, so it's very difficult to basically answer precise that question. Of course, I mean, the global supply chain is affected. I mean, we are sourcing our materials from different parts of the world, and it is a struggle. Of course, it is a struggle. I mean, we manage that, and I think we have a very good team behind it when it comes to procurement, and we have a solid network of the supply providers. But I mean, it is challenging. I mean, no doubt. But again, I mean, on a positive note, we see that this is improving and getting back to normal. And Dave, I can't hear you.
Okay. He says, can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. Hi, Wojciech and Dave. Congratulations on the merger. Do you have any plans to automate any of your production processes?
Absolutely. And of course, I mean, we already, I mean, the VBC acquired a Catera plant in Tracy, which is highly automated, and of course, we are also looking how to automate our factories. I mean, we are not very automated at the moment. There's a huge potential for that, and again, I mean, we're looking forward to get that expertise from the colleagues from VBC.
Yeah. You know, here's somebody that she comments a lot. Diana Sunshine Wolf. Where is the food garden? So what's interesting about Diana, she's very big into hemp and different alternative materials and into the environment. How important is reducing the carbon footprint in the environment to Polcom?
It is important, and again, I mean, I'm getting back to that offsite production. So all the, I mean, we typically give an example of that, basically doing the modular. I mean, we are reducing the number of traffic by the trucks. I mean, we're not sending trucks with the concrete and things like that back and forth on the construction site, which again, I mean, very, very harmful for the city centers and the cities authorities. They do care about the footprint here. So yeah. Definitely the modular is more sustainable and more green than traditional. So we tend to use that argument when we are convincing the customers, but hopefully here also the regulations are helping us year by year. I mean, with all the stricter regulations, etc. So this is supported by the authorities as well. So we take the advantage of that, obviously.
Love it. All right. Thanks, Diana. We always appreciate you tuning in. Jerry McCahey, best wishes on merger with VBC. Great news, Jerry. If you don't know Jerry from Integra.
Thank you, Jerry. And it was good seeing you in California a couple of weeks ago.
That's right.
Thank you.
At our event, we had our first Dave Cooper live event, and we got to tour Volumetric Building Company's new manufacturing facility, which is absolutely amazing and huge. But you will get more of that coming up in the near future as well, everyone. Peter Molinar has a question for you. Hey, Peter, are the offsite construction components built to meet passive house standards?
Definitely, I think that there are, but I mean, we are entering that market. I mean, we look into that, and I wouldn't say we are there yet, but it's definitely an area where we are looking and spending some R&D effort.
Love it, love it. Thanks for tuning in, Andy. He said fantastic merger. We got Andrew Seeley, great show and guest to you all at the International Builder Show next week. That's right, we will be at the International Builder Show, so tune in with us. Todd Meckley says, huge supporter of what you are doing. I recently oversaw 100+ engineers in Krakow. Everything is possible. I couldn't even imagine having to oversee 100+ engineers. Just that alone sounds overwhelming to me. No offense, you're an engineer, but there's a lot of opinions with engineers.
But indeed, everything is possible.
Yeah.
So no limits.
So Henry Mickelberg says all Polcom needed was some proper management. Great to see it happen with the two of you. So join Henry from France joining us. So glad you're with us. All right, Wojciech, let's talk about the future here. Let's get into, and then we're going to wrap it up. You know, how strong is your future looking right now? How do you see the market? Is there anything you want to share with us? How's your pipeline?
As I said, the pipeline is strong, and also when we look at the market, we can see the very positive trend in the hospitality. And we are super positive listening to our colleagues and friends on the US market, on the multifamily, and also, as I said, I mean, there is also a huge demand for the multifamily in Europe. Yeah. So we all positive here, and yeah, we're busy, and we're gonna be even more busy in the next months.
Yeah, and I believe that. I want to point out, a lot of people don't realize that volumetric building companies already had a global footprint when it came to their engineering and design teams. They have people all around the world that have been working and designing, right? So this is really just the next step for the plug and play for the bigger picture, because the systems are already in place, and I think that's amazing.
Absolutely. And we are happy to be a new division of VBC.
Sure. So, you know, we're going to come over, and we're going to hopefully be able to live stream some of what you guys are doing. Heck, maybe we'll live stream a container ship ride from Poland to the United States. Well, the camera will. I'm not doing it.
Sounds great.
I love it. All right. So, Wojciech, is there anything else that you'd like to leave with us that we have not touched on that you feel is important?
No, I would like to thank for all the good questions, and I believe we have a lot of fans of the modular on the call. So I would like to leave you with a message that the future is bright, and that the adoption of the modular is growing. So the opportunities are enormous. I mean, I'm excited, and I hope you guys share that.
Yeah, well, I hope everybody shares it and has a wonderful day. This is awesome. Polcom Group, recent merger with Volumetric Building Companies. Wojciech Poludniewski, I'm working on my Polish, and I'm getting better at it, on the show today. So thank you for joining us today. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And for the rest of you, we are at the International Builders Show next week. All week, we are going to be live streaming IRL in real life. I'm going to bring you into the show, and you're going to be looking at things the same way I'm looking at it. So hopefully you will enjoy that. So make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, because that's where we're going to be going live to for the IRL streaming. And we'll do some other live events while we're there. In the meantime, make sure you tune in this Friday for BS Friday with Mark Barenaked Willie and I. Wojciech, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Dave.
Yep. And everybody else out there, we'll see you next time. Bye now.